Greetings, it's Reverend John O'Toole, and we are here for episode 37. 4 more episodes and we'll be at number 40. We're catching up to my age, folks. But I'm young at heart, so it all works. I would like to do a reading today. It has been a while since I did my last show. I'm not really sure what it was. The energy in the world's been kind of weird, and I have to be in the right kind of mind. So today, I'm in the right kind of mind. I can do readings privately anytime. That's not really a problem. But to do a show, I have to be just right. So, I'm using the Brian Fraud's book. Let's see. There we go, right there. Brian Fraud's Faery Oracle book. And if you get it as a set, it'll come with the cards too. You can buy the cards individually, but they're not as easy to find. So, you know, it's a pretty cool thing. And I recommend the book. Although you could just get the cards and just see where you go. So, should we put it? You can't put it all the way into the picture. So, we'll just put it up there. And the other thing that I do is I ask you to draw your fairy. You don't have to use the card that comes with it. You don't even have to buy the cards if you don't wish to. You can yourself some crayons or markers, or maybe some schooly thingy you can do on your laptop or iPad, I don't know. And draw the you think that your fairy looks like. It could be a pumpkin. Like that movie, The Clock in the Walls, with the pumpkins out the front, year round. So, we kind of do is we gotta pull some cards, and we are going to see where the energy is at. It's been so long. I don't even know where our energy flow was from before. When I was doing these each week, it was easier to remember. So I have a cheat sheet here that I use to help engage the energy. It's not a bad idea to use something like that because, you know, otherwise you're going to continue to be looking in the book. And who wants you to do that? There are people that have the cards memorized. Isn't that sweet of them? It's like people who can forage for mushrooms and know the good ones versus the bad. I personally don't trust myself foraging for mushrooms. I might just be a sleeping beauty waiting for my queen to come wake me up. So, we're going to pick out some cards. I'm thinking 6 today. I don't know why. I don't know if we have time for 6. But that's what we're going to do. It's a beautiful day here on Faery Mountain. We've got the sun out, which is kind of rare. We've had so much rain and cloudy days throughout the summer that we're going to pick this one. And it's exciting to see the sun come out. So the chilly air is coming back. So it's a hard session between the AC unit and the heat. And sometimes it's both. I think it's 5. Let's see where we're gonna go. I want this one. There we go. And which one do you wish to start with first? Any ideas? Any thoughts? I'm listening. Just one card. Well, let's try. Let's try this one. A vertical card on the get-go. Number 37. Number 37 certainly is a pretty card indeed. And it's a vertical card looking out to you guys, as you can see, like so. Not as it is to me. Go. Bara of the waters. Well, wasn't I just talking about rain? I used to think it'd be the coolest thing to live in a lighthouse, surrounded by water and views. I don't think of it so much as cool all that much anymore. Well, water is energy. Water is emotions. So when you have a waterfall, it's gurgling and gurgling and energy flowing and bouncing around. It's emotions. It could be positive emotions, it could be negative emotions. Emotions, serenity, meditation, gracefully accepting change. Now, if this card was in reverse, perhaps a cold shower is in order, or just cooling off. But fortunately, this one was vertical. Emotions, serenity, meditations, gracefully accepting change. Not bad for the first card. Let's try this one. Number 45, another vertical card. Number 45. Interesting enough, the energy that I perceive for this particular fairy, or if you're on maybe a pond or a lake or a gentle waterfall, maybe an aggressive waterfall, but gently waterfall, where the water is just kind of like trickling along. So a stream. Different levels. Or a fountain. And you're in the corner of your eye, you see these energy orbs bouncing around off the surface of the water. I think of energies like this one. Caton the Sylph. There's other names for the fairies. They're kind of like firefly type of fairy. Oddly enough, two cards that are related in my profession to water. Acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, discernment. Now, if this card was in reverse, it would be fluttery, fickle, fly-by-night, reliable, and flaw. But this card was vertical. Acute intellect, quickness, mental synthesis, and discernment. I saw a really good movie this week on Netflix called My Starling. Both actors that were co-starring were both comedians, and they were playing a serious role. So give it a look up if you can. It's on Netflix if you have Netflix. Might be other places. Interesting. Oh, let's see. Let's try this card. Another vertical card. Some people say this one looks like me. I don't see any resemblance to you. I don't have a red beard. I don't have pointy ears either. There we go, number 22. The Master Maker. That was a vertical card also. It's kind of amazing that we're getting all these vertical cards. The Master Maker. The skill, craftsmanship, magician, moral strength, and invention. Huh. If it was in reverse, it would be shoddy craftsmanship is a problem. But this card was vertical. Skill, craftsmanship, magician, moral strength, and invention. What comes to mind is riding a surfboard, which is on water. But I'm thinking of it more of energy. Although, as I said, water and energy is kind of the same thing. Riding the surfboard of life. Times here in this country, United States, and all over the world, in most countries, things are so crazy. Things have changed so much in the last year. And it's very difficult to navigate. Navigate another term for going to water. You can see where my head's at. Or mind. Or soul. And it's a certain skill to be able to ride the surfboard of life. To maneuver from one thing to another. Don't crash and burn. Navigate through the waters of emotions, through the waters of facts and fiction and everything else. Around the sharks and swim with the dolphins and the whales. Watching a video yesterday of a whale that got stuck at a pier that had boats. He'd go down one side and he'd turn around and he would get stuck in these, in the slips that the boats would park themselves in. And they eventually got him out by doing some whale song. But it's interesting. You've got to learn to navigate and flow from one thing to another. Respond to things, don't react to things. It's too easy to react to the craziness going on out there in the world, outside of your bubble. But certainly, the governments are in a knee-jerk reaction mode, and they wish to have control over everybody. Let's try this one over here. Another vertical card. It's quite amazing considering we haven't done a reading for so long. Number 45. Oh, that's one we just pulled up. And this one we just pulled up. That must be this one. The Piper. Number 24. Another vertical card. No resemblance. I don't play the flute. And preparation. Like checking to make sure that all the batteries are charged before you start recording a video. Number 24, the Piper. Another vertical card. Music, order, harmony, seduction, and opathy. The card was in reverse. Someone is mesmerized, lost in the dream, stagnating, and so vague and diffused. But this card was vertical. Order, music, harmony, seduction, and empathy. Kind of like the whale being stuck at the pier. But this one's in vertical card, so you're able to navigate and follow your path between the obstacles. And ride the surfboard. My idea was riding the surfboard when I was a kid was using a paddle board. That standing up thing was not in my cards. I didn't stand up on a skateboard and I didn't stand up on a surfboard. I keep it low to the ground, low to the water, in control. Well, here we have one card in reverse. Epona's Nil's daughter, number 54. Very pretty card. Number 54. Epona's wild daughter. Inner shadows. Nightmare, depression, madness, and growth. But this card was in reverse. The only one that was in reverse. Growth is being blocked by clinging on to old habits and things. What does your nightmares tell you? Now, it's pretty hard these days to not be affected by the world around us. Everything is fear this, fear this, fear this, fear that, fear this. If you don't do what I tell you to do, we're going to punish you. Politically speaking, which is, you know, speaking out and standing up for your children is now considered not a good thing. Don't want to say those words because I don't want to be kicked off by YouTube. But it is indeed a crazy world in which you can't dictate for the sanctity of your children. They want to tell you what to do, and you're to follow them no matter what. And that's not really. So you have to figure out how to navigate this crazy world without losing your cool. Can you do that? You can do that. You are smarter than them. And it's not by using violence. It is by using this up here to come up with creative ways to make a difference. And maybe you're just going to have to run for office. Even if it's just local government. How often do you go to a voting booth and there's nobody running against somebody? There's nobody running opposed them. Yeah, it might be a dog walker. You know? Might be some little thing, but you never know. You can make a difference in some little capacity that you never thought you could before. Start a blog. You're going to have to follow the rules of YouTube, but you can go on Rumble. You know, you could go on other sites and start speaking out. Take your kids out of school. Get a collaborative of parents, and, everybody chips in and has your own classroom. They did it 200 years ago. It's not the same thing, but, how else are you going to teach the kids the 3 R's? 3 R's are no longer important in the school system. Why is that? They don't need to learn to read, write, or do arithmetic. They just need to know how to throw a rock. That is not impressive to me. That's what the SATs are going to be. How are your fighting skills? Not how smart you are. But until next time, hop up on that surfboard and ride your waves. The fairy is speaking to you. And you and you and you and you. Ta-ta. La-ta-ta-ta-ta.